If you are receiving this transmission, you are the Cynical Militia. You are listening to Professor Cynical on all available frequencies. This is not a test.
Coming to you from a studio in Glasgow, this is Professor Cynical.
Yep, you read the title of this video, and people are furious. People are absolutely furious. Good day, legends. What is going on? Well, PlayStation 4 still has not yet got the update, and that's already pretty bad enough. For those who are still waiting for this update to happen on last-gen consoles, I feel for you. I really, really, really do. But the kicker here, ladies and gentlemen, isn't just the fact that PlayStation 4 still hasn't got the update yet, but it's actually Nintendo. Now, Nintendo Switch 2 has the update, fantastic. Nintendo Switch 1, technically, has the update stamp. It is 6.01 or whatever. But where's the actual update in that? I am getting reports constantly that they're still on beacons. Even though it says it's the latest and greatest from Hello Games, there are no Corvettes still in the game. There are no updates to that. Like, what is going on here? Hello Games. I mean, I can blame Nintendo for not releasing the update until I'm blue in the face. But what's included in that update, Hello Games, that's down to you. That is down to you. Nintendo Switch 1 was a mistake to put the game on. You know that, we know that. And the reason being is the Nintendo Switch 1 quite clearly cannot run all the ambitious stuff that you guys are trying to put into the game. And that's very clearly evident. The fact is that they just don't have the update. They don't have Corvettes. They have nothing. And these players who have spent money on a promise that they will get to play the latest and greatest version of No Man's Sky has had that entire narrative blown out the water time and time and time again. Will Corvettes actually ever come to Nintendo Switch 1? Are you guys still trying to figure that out? Then you guys at Hello Games need to make a statement and tell the community, tell the people who have bought the game on Nintendo Switch 1, what is the problem? The way that everyone sees this at the minute is that the Nintendo Switch 1 is so far behind, it's became a joke within the No Man's Sky community. And I feel for everybody who has spent the hard-earned money. Now, even though, yes, they do technically have the game and you can make that argument, but it's a very watered-down version of the game, which was not on any publication. And it's not like you've disclosed that you're selling a very watered-down version of No Man's Sky to Nintendo Switch 1 players. You've not disclosed that. So everybody is assuming that this will be the latest game whenever they click that purchase option, which in my opinion is not right. So ladies and gentlemen, I made a community post over on YouTube the second I was informed that the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2 was updated. And this was one of the comments that I had underneath that, which is why I am so incredibly infuriated right now. So here we go. Switch 1 did not get the update. What they got was a version tick no more. And cross saves are still incompatible and locked out. Yet they are still allowing Switch 1 players to use it. Incompetent. I completely agree. I completely agree with that. It is really, really, really bad. It's really bad. What Hello Games need to do is just be honest with the community about the Switch 1. If it's never going to be able to get the Corvette update, or it's incredibly delayed because it's the Switch 1, then they need to tell people. They need to open up and have a big disclosure about it, saying, look, this is a watered down version of No Man's Sky. Call it No Man's Sky Lite for all I care. Call it something else. But at least inform the community that what they are getting is a watered down version, because they are paying for the full experience, but they are not getting the full experience. Case in point, I've got another comment right here. Important, do not use cross-save on Nintendo NS1 or Nintendo Switch 1. Still can't play despite matching versions. No expedition either. If you get a save from another system, you'll no longer be able to play that save on Nintendo because it's incompatible. If you pay for NSO, back up your saves and do not auto-sync in case you need to restore. Guys, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And, you know, again, a big disclaimer here. I love Hello Games. I think what they are doing in the No Man's Sky space in the industry is absolutely groundbreaking. But guys, this right here is the stain on that reputation. It's what's bringing this studio down. They can do better. They must do better. Hello Games, do better. This is not right, and you guys need to fix this. Now, with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue on with today's video. I just really wanted to get your guys' frustration out there, my frustration with it out there. I think now we're all on the same page. Let me know what you think about the PlayStation 4 not being updated and the Nintendo Switch 1 peeps. Let me know what you think about that entire situation, comment section down below. But let's continue with today's video on a more lighter footing. So in the video I did a few days ago, you guys have been so vocal in the comment section as always, and this is what you guys had to say. Now, the first one I have here says, totally off topic, but I wish they had the whole alphabet of stickers in game so I can properly mark my ship. And I agree with you. I mean, how cool would that be, having the full A to Z sticker category? I mean, I find myself, you know, wanting to put like words and letters on my ships, but I'm having to, for example, use the number 1 and then try and like make it into like individual like actual letters, like, you know, turning 1s into A's and P's and so on. Where if they actually had the official, you know, A to Z listing, that would just make things so much more easier. And also it would save on that ever dwindling, you know, allowed list of how many items and props and whatnot you are allowed in game. And because you're having to like make these stickers do more and more and more, then that's only adding to that total where, you know, that would also cut down on a lot of usage. So that would be incredible. That's a really good comment, and you have 28 likes. So a lot of people agree with that. Now, the next comment I have goes like this. Maybe this is an incentive for them to give us a better save system, like the ability to do a manual save that isn't forcibly overwritten every single time the game does it itself, like when hopping out of a ship. Now, that's how No Man's Sky used to be. You used to have to just jump into your ship, jump out of your ship or whatever to make a manual save. I loved that save system. It allowed me to do so many wonderful glitches back in the day, but those glitches sadly are no more because they introduced the automatic save feature. For example, the anomaly glitch where you used to be able to like duplicate items and you have to like go into the anomaly, transfer items to somebody else and so on. That's what I use it for in particular, but not everyone used it for that. But at the end of the day, when they introduced the automatic override system, it was a massive pain because, you know, what if you get stuck on a planet and, you know, you needed to have a manual save to get you out of that situation, which is a lot of people's comments about it. But because of the auto save that overrides everything that you do, you can technically break your save because of the automatic save feature. There's an extensive list about what could happen and why people would love manual saves, but that's just a few examples there. But yeah, bring back manual saves. Make manual saves great again. That's my opinion. Now, the next comment I have goes like this. One thing that annoys me is that No Man's Sky devs say vertical building, but it really isn't. I want to be able to rotate, stack, and build in any orientation without resorting to glitches, which then can break your save, etc., which is true. Secondly, whilst the new Aeron parts are very cool, I feel like they could have added quite a bit more to make builds feel more cohesive, like Sentinel hubs and cockpits, etc. Now, I agree with you on that one as well. In the brochure, if you will, and all the correspondence that we have from Hello Games about what's included in the new update, when they make the wonderful posters and whatnot, it does say very heavily in the promotion material that you can have vertical building and so on, but that's technically technically not entirely accurate. Yes, you can build upwards and whatnot, kind of, but it's not true vertical stacking. It's not true vertical building. And many in our community is really excited, as this chap says right here, was really excited when they thought that they could do vertical building. But again, it's not true vertical building, and people are still having to resort to glitch building, which, as we know, carries a bunch of risks, just like with any glitching. So it's not exactly ideal. It's really not ideal. And I like your idea as well about the Sentinel hubs and whatnot. Maybe that's something they could do in a future update. Who knows? I know Hello Games watches my videos, so they might see that comment because I'm highlighting it, and hopefully they might bring that into a future update. Wink, wink, hint, hint. That would be really cool. Hello Games. Now, the next comment I have goes like this. There's a huge bug where spacewalking out your Corvette almost always launches you far, far away. Took me like 10 minutes to get out of my Corvette correctly every time I had to for an expedition task. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with that, there was a fix that should now be live on all platforms that does fix that issue. We spoke about it the other day there, how it was going on to experimental, or it was just released on experimental, but it seems that it has been pushed out now to all platforms. So theoretically now that should all be fixed, but let me know in the comment section down below if you are still having that issue, and I'll keep on pressing Hello Games if you are. But fingers crossed, that should all be fixed for you now, but let me know if you're still having any issues. Now, the next comment I have goes like this. On PlayStation 5 running Breach, Grave Robber is glitched and I make the display, but it doesn't register. Stuck here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have also heard the same reportings, and it mainly is from the PlayStation community, that this is an actual error in the game. At the moment, there isn't anything in the upcoming patches that suggests that this is being fixed. So let me know in the comment section if you're playing on PlayStation 5. Has this affected you? Have you played the Expedition? The Grave Robber part, is that affecting you? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be pushing this over to Hello Games later on today anyway for them to take a closer look. But if you're also having that issue, let me know in the comment section down below. Now, the next comment I have goes like this. Turning multiplayer off solved the Corvette bug for me. No more being yeeted into deep space. Now, that's a fantastic fix, and I have seen that being mentioned quite a few times within certain Norman Sky circles. So, obviously, we've just had the update, so that should all be fixed now with the experimental just going on to all platforms, and that was mentioned as part of the fix, so that it should be fixed. But if it's not, then maybe try going into your options menu, turning off multiplayer, and see if that does fix the issue. That should hopefully help. I've seen a lot of people reporting success just by simply turning off multiplayer. So let me know if that does work in the comment section down below, if you've had to do it since the update. Let me know. Now, the next comment I have here goes like this, but just a quick disclaimer, I've had to translate it to English, so I do apologize if this isn't entirely accurate, but it goes like this. Corvettes with a large number of parts do not load on anomalies. So this is a reported problem that I've seen many times within Norman Sky circles, that, you know, players are inside the anomaly and they see people flying in. Well, I say flying, they are literally just players floating through the air, landing on Corvette spaces, but no Corvettes actually load in. And sometimes it does take multiple minutes, if not up to 15-20 minutes, I've seen in some reports, for a single Corvette to load in. Now, there does seem to be some kind of loading issue at the moment, and hopefully with updates and fixes, Hello Games can get that problem fixed, but I think something like that will take time, and it's only gotten worse since the latest update, since Breach, because before then, it was a little slow, but there was loading in, I would say, in good enough time. But since Breach, I've noticed that going completely backwards again and declining, and it takes ages for any ship to load in, even on a very powerful PC like I've got. So it is a known problem. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the team can get that fixed. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we know, I have had a community poll up now for the last few days, and it is in regards to my intros that I make for the video, and it's the one where, you know, Professor Cynical is coming to you live from a studio in Glasgow. There was a lot of people that really just did not like that intro, absolutely despised it, but there was many in the community that really enjoyed it, and, you know, a lot of people just wasn't bothered either way, which is perfectly fine. Now, I left it up to you guys in the community to vote on whether I should keep it in the videos or get rid of it forever or to try something else. And this is the poll results right here. Now, as you can see, there was many people in our community that made a vote, and this is the poll results. So you can see the winner here is for me to keep the intro. But, you know, for those that don't like it, then you can just skip ahead in the video of 20 seconds and you'll get right into the meet and greet of all my videos. So, you know, there we go. That's the winner. And starting with today, I will add it back in and we'll keep with it going forward. Well, at least for now anyway. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, there is a lot in this video. Let me know what you think about absolutely everything in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think as well about the Switch 1 situation. Let me know what you think about the PlayStation 4 situation as well. Comment section down below, you know what to do. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's everything from me here today. And as always, my name is Professor Cynical, and I'll catch you all again in the next one. Bye for now.
Join the Cynical Militia on Professor Cynical's Patreon. No exclusive perks needed. Just your passion for epic space adventures and bold discussions keeps the galaxy spinning. Choose your tier. Fuel the mission. Repent Jar. $1 a month. Forgiveness for your ad-block sins. A pack of Monster. $5 a month. Keep the creative thrusters firing. Absolute Legends. $10 a month. That got me thinking. $50 a month. A bold, questionable financial decision that screams you're all in. Why join? Every pledge strengthens the Cynical Militia, keeping Professor Cynical's YouTube channel a thriving hub for No Man's Sky fans, craving news, updates, and unfiltered discussions. You're not just a supporter, you're part of a galactic community that dares to explore and think differently. Don't just traverse the stars, own them. Enlist now at patreon.com/ProfessorCynical1 and let's conquer the No Man's Sky universe together.